So LeBron James thinks he can do anything. I mean, he doesn't think he can sprout wings and fly, at least I don't think he does. But within the confines of a basketball court, LeBron sees no limits. No shot he can't take or block, no deficit he can't rebound from, no strain on his body he can't handle. For most of the time, this is a very good thing for the Cavaliers, who would turn out to need an actual superhuman effort from LeBron just to eke out of the first round. Seriously, in those 7 games against Indiana, the man dropped more than 40 points 3 separate times and played 288 total minutes of basketball. That is 86% of the amount of time it was even possible for him to be on the court. He also scored or assisted on 59% of the Cavaliers' total baskets, and he did it from practically every spot on the floor. Again, there is nothing James doesn't think he can do. But there are a few times, and we saw it yesterday, when that confidence can get him into some trouble. LeBron looked unstoppable in the game's opening minutes, becoming the first player in 20 years to start a Game 7 shooting 7 for 7. And apparently, he felt unstoppable too, because the cameras caught him saying, "Whole game, I'm playing the whole game," which I get, it fits into the mythology of what we want from our superstars. But you didn't need a physiology degree to foresee what that would most likely lead to. I mean, all series, we have been watching LeBron need to exert so much effort early that he has been measurably tired and flagging late. As in, actually measurable by the cameras that track players around the court. So wasn't torquing that up further in Game 7, trying to play all 48, just asking for trouble? It turns out the answer was yes, as some cramping in his legs forced LeBron to the locker room with about a minute to go in the third. At that moment, he had scored more than half the Cavs' points, and losing him for any length of time seemed like a certain death knell for Cleveland. It was shocking then, as LeBron was trying to right himself on the bench with fluids and orange slices, to see the rest of the Cavaliers actually step up and extend the team's lead. And the question now, as the Cavs have to turn almost right around and play a Toronto team that will have had 3 days rest, is whether the other guys on the Cavs roster can play like that again, this time more reliably and more often. Because I know LeBron thinks he can do anything and everything, but I can't see a way that will work against the Raptors, who have been salivating all season for exactly this kind of series. This Toronto team has an elite all-star backcourt, a bench as deep as the ocean, and even a rookie, an OG Anunoby, who is tops in the league at stopping the exact kind of drives to the basket LeBron used to get by the Pacers. And by the way, LeBron couldn't even begin prepping for any of that last night. Here is what he had to say when asked about Toronto.
I'm burnt right now. I'm not thinking about Toronto right now until tomorrow. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I want to go home. So.
Now, I'm sure by the time we see him again at shoot-around tomorrow, he will be fired back up, declaring himself ready to go. But LeBron always thinks that. It would be good for Cleveland if the rest of the Cavs can borrow a little of that I-can-do-anything confidence, so LeBron doesn't need his quite so much. Paul, there was a lot of wear and tear on LeBron in that first round. Do you think that, I mean, they're talking in Cleveland like, oh, look, Game 7, these guys finally stepped up, they've gelled, they're ready for that series. Do you have faith that the team's deep enough to help them out?
No, I don't have faith that the team is deep enough. But then again, what LeBron has done in this postseason, what he's done over the course of his career, you can't put anything past him. You know, he single-handedly carried them past the Pacers when you thought the Pacers, after Game 1, would probably win the series. They looked that good. You know, I don't think he's had much help, but, you know, I'm sitting back here and I'm just going to appreciate the greatness of LeBron James, because I'm not putting anything past him anymore. You know, before I doubted, but just watching him over these last few years, he's enough. He's enough.
I'm so glad this is being recorded on television, because you saying this is a landmark event.
I've been going back and forth, but, you know, even though he doesn't have the supporting cast, he's enough to beat you and the Toronto Raptors.
Right. So we know that there is a level of deficiency. Like me and 3 of my friends could not probably, you know, bolster the Cavs enough for them. The question is, where is that line, right? I mean, silver lining. We saw last night, I thought that stretch when he was gone was important symbolically and substantively to watch those guys, revert. It was a 3-point lead turned into a 9-point lead, and I might have that wrong. That was really important. I also thought, look, making use of Tristan Thompson, who probably will come in handy against Toronto. They played 2 conventional bigs, at least to start the game. And to see him, he is probably still their best screener. He got 5 extra possessions on the offensive glass. Like, there's enough margin there where, can you get that? Watching George Hill get to the line. The guy needed 5 epidurals or 1 epidural and 4 other things. Like, but can these guys just make use of their strengths? Can Larry Nance bring the energy? Can Hill manufacture enough points and assists? Can Thompson be useful even though he kind of compromised them in terms of stretch? I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to stick with his.
Wow. All right.
You watch him, and he's logging all these minutes, but if there's one guy that can do it, it's him. I mean, he's one of the most well-conditioned athletes of this generation. I mean, my hat's off to him.
So I'm going to give you credit here, Paul, because of all the guys we've had rotate on this show in the past few weeks, you were the only one who said of the first round, your prediction was Cavs in 7. You were the only one who stretched that to 7 games and said the Cavs would win. So are you picking the Cavs again for this series?
I think it's going to be a long series again, and I think the Cavs will win in 7. Now, Toronto, they have to win this early because when you get into these long runs with LeBron, especially at this age, he knows how to conserve his energy. I watched Game 6. He played well, and it got to the point that he was like going to blow out, and it looked like it was like, you know what, we're just going to rest for Game 7. You guys got this. We're in it for the long run. We'll get you in 7. And that's what it looks like. He's pacing himself. Even though he's logging a lot of minutes, it looks like a marathon to him, and he can get you in the long run.